Low. By Charles Hoyfort. Part 1 Chapter 19b. Psychologically and physiologically, the case of the Reverend Thomas Hanna is so much like the case of Caspar Hauser that the suggestion is that if Hanna were not an impostor, Hauser was not. For particulars of the Hanna case, see Sidis, multiple personality. In both cases there was said to be obliteration of memory, or reduction to the mental state of the newborn, with, however, uncommon, or marvelous, ability to learn. Phenomena common to both cases were no idea of time, no idea of sex, appearance of all things, as if at the same distance, or no idea of distance, and inability, or difficulty, in walking. Caspar Hauser was no impostor, who played a stunt of his own invention, as tellers of his story have thought. If he were an impostor, somewhere, back in times when little was known of amnesia, he had gotten a hold of detailed knowledge of profoundest amnesia. And he was about 17 years old. Perhaps he was in a state of profound hypnosis. If the boy of Nepal, India, had wandered from the priest, who may have kidnapped him ordinarily, and may not have kidnapped him ordinarily, and had appeared in an English community, he would have been unable to account for himself, and there would have been a mystery similar to Hauser's. If a wolf child, when found, was almost devoid of human intelligence, and when grown up became a policeman, ours is not quite the cynicism of a scenario writer, or a writer of detective stories. If we do not think this child had been the associate of wolves from an age of a few months, we think of an obliterative process that rendered it a speechless, little animal, but that did not so impair its mentality that a child could not start anew. Our expression upon Caspar Hauser will be that he was a wolf child, and that, if he had appeared somewhere in India, he would, according to local conventions, probably be called a wolf child, and that if he had found any place of refuge, it would be called a wolf's den. But, in our expression, the lupine explanation is not accepted in his case and the cases of all so-called wolf children. Wolf children have appeared, and the conventional story of their origin is not satisfactory. If wolf children have had something the matter with their legs, or have crawled on all fours, it is not satisfactory to say that this was because they had been brought up with wolves, any more than it would be to say that a young bird, even if not taught by its parents, would not be able to fly if brought up with mammals. If we accept that the Pansini boys ever were teleported, we note the mental effects of the experience, in that they were in a state of profound hypnosis. Little frogs bombard horses, and, though there have been many attempts to explain Caspar Hauser, it has never before occurred to anybody to bring little frogs into an explanation. Or seals in a pond in a park, and the branded reindeer of Spitsbergen. See back to everything else in this book. Later, especially see back to lights in the sky, and the disappearance of them, when a story was told, and, so long as the story was not examined, seemed to account for them. The luminous owl, the Malamute, and if anybody can't be explained conventionally, he's an impostor, or, if we're all, to some degree, impostors, he's an exceptional impostor.